Hey, I'm here tonight just to show you, I've done a lot of research on the Narco MK12D and maybe the E. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same, but I will tell you that this display tube is the tube that you can get still, new, part new. It's got the part number here on the tube, and you can order that from DigiKey. That's where I got mine. And this is a plug-and-play item. Basically, you're going to pull the other one out gently and put the new one in very, very gently, and it will work for you just as good as the other one did, or brand new, is what we're trying to do. And I looked everywhere. I couldn't find any information on this. So I will tell you that up front that you should have, to work on one of these, you should have a static pad, a grounded static pad, and a setup area. I'm actually doing it on the kitchen table because I want to show that it's just that easy. It's not going to take but a few minutes. You don't have to disassemble the whole radio. I will tell you the only problem that I had was that these Allen screws are not a normal size. On the regular Allens, I tried all the way down to the .050, and it was too little. The 1/16 is too big. And on all the normal metric sets, the smallest I found was a 1.5. That's a little too large. I couldn't find a 1. I suppose there's such a thing, but I couldn't find it. So on that particular piece of it, I have used a screwdriver that will just barely wedge in there. And that's what I did. So I'm just going to show you, we're going to get started on this deal, and you're going to only have to remove 3 screws off of the top cover. You just need to remove the screws off the top cover with the right screwdriver. You need to remove the knobs off the front, of course, and the front faceplate. And it's just not that much. It's 3 screws in the back. On the top, it's just 2 on each side. Flat blade, a small flat blade right there. I looked everywhere to try to find information. I heard a lot of speculation on whether or not this was hard to do, so I wanted to just show you it was hard to do. I will tell you there's probably some people out there saying that these are for our airplanes and we shouldn't be working on it. It should be qualified personnel working on it. I'm going to argue that. I am trained electronic technician. I work two-way radios. I'm a ham operator. I've got all that certification, but I don't think that it's a problem working on your own radio, especially with this, as it's just a plug and play. Like I say, I had to modify a screwdriver to get these off, and what I've done is I just switch it all the way down onto frequency, and this little screwdriver mod worked pretty good for me. Just set these off to the side. Just flip those up to start. There's 2 in each knob. Just a couple of turns. It'll come right off. And this tube, by the way, is very, it's glass. And it does have a gas in it, a radioactive gas. So don't break it. Be careful. I don't think, unless you swallow it, you're going to be in trouble. But I'm just saying, don't get in trouble with that. All right. That's it on the screws and what you got to take off. So that plate comes off, and then we're there. We're at the display tube. And then this little piece of tape right here, it's kind of tacky sticky. Just pull it off, and I'm going to save this and reuse it because it probably will stick back. I will tell you that in the two I done in my plane, I noticed that somebody at some point had done the connections on the back of these, and this is probably something that runs hot, so that makes sense to me. But what you got is this is just plugged into this little black plug right here. So what you want to do is to get away, pull that back off of there, and you need to do it really slowly. And there's little foam pieces right there, and you want to come out of there slowly. That come off a lot easier than the ones I've done before. So that's it. That's all you got to do. And you got these two little foam pieces that I would suggest that you put on your new piece. And now it's time to put the new unit in there. And these came from DigiKey. Be careful with these pins. If you break these pins or if you drop this, it's ruined. So these pins, I noticed every one of them has to have some straightening done on them. And if you get some little tools like this, it'd be helpful to you to straighten the pins up. They need to just go straight back, not at an angle or anything, and obviously in a straight line, and when you push one down a little bit like that, you can pull it back up. And I see some of these right here start falling off to the right. So if you get one of these out of line when you're trying to push this in, it's going to bend. And if it breaks, you're probably not going to get it soldered back in. You're probably not going to get that solder job to work. So this is the part that's the most difficult of all here. And it's going to be lining these pins up to get them back in the plug. So you need to just start at one end or the other, see where you're at there, and if you need to line any of those up or move anything. I see a couple that I need to move. Just work them around a little bit. Again, this is the trickiest part of the whole deal right here, is getting this to fit. You can see, you just get one of them out of line there, and it's hard to move. And if you try to push one in and it's not in that hole, it's going to break. I hope I don't show you how to do that. Whoops, must have touched that one with my finger. I don't think static electricity is going to be a problem in this. This is not really that type of a component. I hope I'm not wrong about that. But I put two ends already and I have no issues. They worked. So this is hard because it's a whole line that's got to be lined up there. So. And you don't want to break your board either. Think about that. I don't think that you would ever actually have to be a technician to do this. I haven't worked on a radio in a long time. All right, they just clicked in there so they all kind of fit. And then you just kind of need to push it along. And in just a second, it's just going to hit and go in. There it went. So just pinch it all together best you can. Everything lined up there. And it's in. So that's it. That is it. And I would recommend wiping your fingerprints off this before you put the face back on it. And like I say, I'm going to reuse this tape. You can, it's just, I don't know what kind of special tape this might be, but there's still, you know, different kinds of tapes that you can buy to put on there. If you wanted to put new tape on it, that's no problem. This seems to stick back very well, so I just, it doesn't touch anything. It doesn't really do anything. So that's it. So in reverse, you're going to go back on with your faceplate like this. Put your screws in it on each side. Put your knobs back on it. Put your top on. You're done. Thank you for hanging with me, and I hope I helped.